Take a deep breath for a moment, really breathe, because before we talk about gold and silver, before we talk about markets, cycles, and money, we need to talk about you, your energy, your health, your clarity, your inner balance. Because wealth without health is fragile, and success without peace is empty. Now, let me tell you something important. Gold and silver can't be stopped right now, not because of hype, not because of fear, but because of something much deeper. Something that mirrors the human experience itself. Everything in life moves in cycles. Your body does, your emotions do, your relationships do, your energy does, and economies are no different. When I've studied history, really studied it, I've learned that the biggest mistakes people make are believing that this time is different or believing that what's happening outside of them has nothing to do with what's happening inside of them. But the truth is they're deeply connected. Right now, the world is tired, not just financially, emotionally. People are overwhelmed, systems are stretched, trust is thin, and when trust weakens, humans instinctively return to what feels real. That's what gold and silver represent. Reality, stability, something earned slowly, patiently over time. And that's not just a financial lesson. It's a life lesson. You don't build a healthy body overnight. You don't build inner peace in a weekend. You don't heal emotional wounds instantly. You build strength the same way gold is formed under pressure over time. Many people are exhausted because they're chasing outcomes instead of understanding processes. They want quick wins, fast money, instant happiness, but nature doesn't work that way. Your heart doesn't beat faster just because you demand it to. Your mind doesn't heal because you tell it to be positive. Healing requires alignment, and markets are the same. When systems are pushed too far, when debt grows faster than truth, when noise replaces wisdom, there is a natural correction, not a punishment, a rebalancing. Gold and silver are rising because the world is remembering balance, and I want you to do the same. Ask yourself, where in your life are you overextended? Where are you borrowing energy from tomorrow just to survive today? Maybe it's your sleep. Maybe it's your stress. Maybe it's emotional debt you never repaid, words never spoken, feelings never processed. Your body keeps score just like markets do. And when the system gets overloaded, something has to give. The smartest people don't panic during these moments. They observe, they breathe, they simplify. Gold doesn't rush. Silver doesn't chase attention. They just are, and that's powerful. Right now, the world is telling you to move faster, consume more, compare endlessly. But wisdom whispers something different. Slow down, strengthen your foundation, invest in what lasts. That applies to money, but it applies even more to your health, because stress is the hidden inflation of modern life. It erodes your energy quietly, it devalues your joy slowly. You might be successful on paper but bankrupt emotionally. So let this moment be a reminder. Just as people are turning back to gold and silver for stability, you must turn back to yourself, to your breath, to your sleep, to your body. Drink water like it matters because it does. Move your body gently, consistently, not violently, not obsessively. Sit with your thoughts instead of running from them, because clarity is the most valuable asset you'll ever own. I've learned that resilience doesn't come from control. It comes from understanding how things work and flowing with reality instead of fighting it. Markets don't reward stubbornness, life doesn't either. Gold and silver rise when confidence and artificial systems fades. Inner peace rises when you stop building your life on approval, noise, and external validation. The parallel is perfect. When the world becomes uncertain, people seek truth. When the mind becomes overwhelmed, it seeks stillness. Both are natural responses, and here's something deeply important. This isn't about fear, it's about maturity. Fear reacts, wisdom prepares. Preparation isn't panic, it's calm alignment with reality. So instead of asking, how do I get rich fast, ask, how do I become strong enough to thrive in any environment? That strength starts with health, with emotional regulation, with self-awareness, because if you can't sit quietly with yourself, no amount of wealth will save you. The strongest investors aren't just financially disciplined, they're emotionally disciplined. They don't chase highs, they don't collapse during lows. They understand cycles. Just like your energy rises and falls during the day, markets breathe too. And right now the world is excelling. That's why precious metals are rising. That's why simplicity is becoming valuable again. That's why people are questioning systems they once trusted blindly. And you should question your own patterns too. Are you running on caffeine and adrenaline instead of rest and purpose? Are you consuming information but not digesting wisdom? Are you accumulating stress instead of releasing it? Gold doesn't shine because it screams, it shines because it's pure. Your life should be the same. Purify your inputs, your thoughts, your diet, your conversations. Turn down the noise because clarity compounds faster than chaos. I've seen people lose everything financially and rebuild stronger because they had inner stability. I've also seen people with enormous wealth fall apart because they never invested in their emotional health. Money amplifies who you already are. If you're calm, it gives you freedom. If you're anxious, it magnifies fear. That's why this moment matters. Gold and silver can't be stopped, not because prices are moving, but because they represent a deeper shift, a return to fundamentals, and your fundamentals matter more than ever. Sleep deeply, eat intentionally, move regularly, forgive yourself. Healing isn't weakness, rest isn't laziness, stillness isn't falling behind, it's preparation, and preparation is the ultimate form of confidence. You don't need to predict the future perfectly. You need to become resilient enough to handle whatever comes. That's true in markets. That's true in life. So, as you watch the world shift, as you see gold and silver rise, let it remind you to rise internally, too. Not with anxiety, with awareness. Not with greed, with gratitude. Not with fear, with grounded strength. Because when you align your health, your mind, and your values, you become unstoppable too. And unlike markets, your inner wealth can never be taken from you. Take another deep breath. You're exactly where you need to be to begin again. And as you sit with these thoughts, I want you to recognize something powerful about this moment in your life. You are alive at a time of enormous transition. That's not an accident. Periods of change feel uncomfortable because they expose what no longer works. In the body, discomfort is often the signal that healing is beginning. In the world, uncertainty is often the signal that transformation is underway. Gold and silver don't rise during comfortable times. They rise when illusions fade, and many of us have been living under illusions. The illusion that endless growth is normal, that exhaustion is success, that speed equals progress. But the human nervous system wasn't designed for constant urgency, neither were economic systems. When something grows too fast, it becomes fragile. When something grows steadily, it becomes resilient. Think about your own life. Where did you grow too fast? Where did you skip foundations in order to reach outcomes? Snorts, maybe you achieved something before you were emotionally ready to hold it. Maybe you built success while neglecting your body. Maybe you stayed strong for everyone else and forgot to take care of yourself. That kind of imbalance always corrects itself, not to punish you, to wake you up. And here's the beautiful part. Waking up doesn't require force. It requires honesty, honesty with your limits, honesty with your energy, honesty with what you actually need. Gold and silver are honest assets. They don't pretend to be something they're not. They don't promise speed. They don't offer shortcuts. They simply store value, and that's the lesson. Your life doesn't need more excitement. It needs more value. Value in your relationships, value in your daily habits, value in how you speak to yourself, because the voice you hear most is your own. If that voice is harsh, your nervous system stays in survival mode. And no one thrives in survival mode. Thriving requires safety. Safety requires self-rust, and self-rust is built the same way long-term wealth is built through consistency, patience, and respect for reality. You don't yell at a plant to grow faster. You water it. You give it sunlight. You give it time. Your body is no different. Right now, many people feel anxious about the future. They scroll endlessly, consuming fear disguised as information. But fear doesn't prepare you, it weakens you. Preparation comes from clarity, and clarity comes from stillness. That's why I encourage you to create quiet in your life, even 10 minutes a day. Sit without distraction. Breathe slowly, notice your thoughts without judging them. That's not avoidance, that's training. You're training your mind to stay steady when things move, because volatility isn't going away, not in markets, not in life. But volatility doesn't have to control you. Gold and silver are volatile in the short term, but stable in the long term. Be like that. Allow your emotions to move, but keep your values anchored. Eat foods that nourish you instead of sudsy you. Move your body in ways that create longevity, not injury. Sleep like your future depends on it, because it does. We've normalized exhaustion, but exhaustion isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning sign, and warnings are gifts. Just like market signals are gifts for those who listen. I've learned that most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they're disconnected from their body, from their intuition, from reality. Reconnection is the real wealth. When you reconnect with yourself, decisions become simpler. You stop chasing every opportunity. You stop comparing your path to others. You begin to play your own game. That's how the most successful people live, quietly, deliberately, with a long-term perspective. They don't try to win today at the expense of tomorrow. They don't sacrifice their health for numbers on a screen. They understand that the most important compounding asset is energy, and energy is protected by boundaries. Learn to say no without guilt. Learn to rest without apology. Learn to walk away from environments that drain you. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Gold doesn't argue with trends. It simply exists outside of them. You don't need to prove your worth by being busy. You don't need to earn rest. You don't need permission to slow down. The world will keep moving whether you rush or not, so choose presence, choose depth over speed, choose health over approval, choose alignment over noise, because when your inner world is stable, the outer world becomes easier to navigate. And here's something I want you to remember deeply. Healing is not linear. Growth is not constant. Some days you'll feel strong. Some days you'll feel tired. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. Markets pull back before they move higher. So do people. Be patient with yourself. Gold and silver have survived every system, every empire, every crisis, not because they fought, but because they endured. Endurance is underrated in a culture obsessed with speed. But endurance is what carries you through uncertainty, and uncertainty is not the enemy. Uncertainty is where adaptation happens, where wisdom forms, where strength deepens. So don't fear this moment in history. Use it to simplify, use it to heal, use it to realign your life with what actually matters, because when the noise fades, what remains is who you are, and who you are is enough. Stay grounded, stay patient, stay kind to yourself. The same forces lifting gold and silver right now are inviting you to do the same, not upward in anxiety, but inward in strength. And when you rise from that place, nothing can stop you either.